Hello guys, how are you doing today? I am Dr. Erica Judge Edwards, board certified family practice physician, also autism advocate and autism mom. And the reason I'm coming to you guys today is because several videos have been sent to me and I just want to speak about it a little bit. So the videos are basically of Black women who are informing Black parents to not have their children evaluated for autism, to not have their children diagnosed with autism, to not put a label on their children, to not put their children in special education, and also to not have IEPs put in place for their children. So the thought process in several of these videos is that there is a conspiracy to diagnose Black children with autism, and that Black children are the ones having this label placed on them for some sinister reasons. And so the one thing that I can tell you guys is that in actuality, Black children are the ones who would have delayed and missed diagnosis. If you actually look at the data, initially, Black and Hispanic children are less likely to receive a diagnosis of autism, are less likely to have accommodations in place. But by the time they're 8 years old, it actually evens out and the rate of autism is equal across all races. So what that tells us is that there's some delayed diagnosis happening in Black and Hispanic children. That is important because that means that when a good number of Black and Hispanic children are diagnosed, the window for early intervention has been missed. So one of the things that is also a recurring theme in these videos is telling parents, don't have your children diagnosed too early. Don't have them diagnosed at 1, 2, and 3. That is perfectly normal for them to start talking at 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. Guys, that is not correct. If a child is not talking at 3, 4, 5, or 6, they need to be evaluated by a speech language pathologist. And then from there, further, interventions and therapies and referrals can be put in place. The main thing that I would stress to everyone is if you have any concerns about your child, no matter what they are, speak to your pediatrician and ask for a referral for an evaluation. There is nothing wrong with getting an evaluation. If you know you have an autism evaluation done and your child is not autistic, no harm done. If you have a speech therapy appointment or referral done, or if you have an occupational therapy evaluation done, or whatever evaluations you have done, if they turn out, to be normal and there's no diagnosis there, then there's no harm done. But if the reverse happens, if there is an issue and you don't do anything about it, then harm is done to the child and the child needlessly suffers. Another thing that I saw in these videos was that, these children just need discipline. Let me tell you something, guys. You cannot whoop away autism. You cannot, yell at a child and be verbally abusive to the point that a child will no longer be autistic. This really saddens me because what these videos are essentially saying is, don't have your child evaluated by the proper professionals. Don't put the proper services in place for your child. But then when your child struggles due to you not doing the things that you should do as a parent, beat them, yell at them, whoop them, hold them accountable for your lack of action or inaction. And that is very, very sad. In my opinion, it's neglect. And in my opinion, it's actually abusive. So the main thing I want to say is, guys, please, please, please do not listen to this bad advice. It's dangerous, it's harmful, and it's not good for children. children. And the other thing I want to say is that one of the things that, the individuals in these videos kept saying was, there's nothing wrong with your child. There's nothing wrong with your child. No, there is nothing wrong with your child. Autistic children are beautiful children. They are capable. We presume competence. We put the proper therapies and services in place, and then we watch them reach their full potential. And so the stigma about special education needs to go away. The stigma about IEPs needs to go away. Because one of the things, that I continue to see was, once you diagnose a person with autism, or once you call them autistic, that follows them their entire life. Well, if a person is autistic, there is no cure for that. So they will remain autistic, but that is not a negative thing. It says nothing bad about them. And so with that being said, I am raising my daughter to be loud and proud. She is perfect the way that she is. She deserves to occupy space in this world just as she is. She is a beautiful being, and I have no shame whatsoever about being her mom. If I could choose any child in this world, I would still choose her. She is autistic. She will be autistic. My role is not to try to cure her. My role is to accommodate her so that her life will be more comfortable. Guys, when it comes to special education and IEPs, at least in Georgia, that information is private. It's kept separate from the rest of the school file, and no one has access to that information unless I personally release it. Yes, my daughter will likely have an IEP, but that doesn't mean that she won't go to college. That doesn't mean that she won't be gainfully employed. That doesn't mean that, she won't get married, have children, and live independently. Now, mind you, she's only 2 years old, so I don't have the answers to these questions. And I'm also, not trying to figure those types of things out. I'm simply trying to accommodate my daughter so that she can be happy and healthy and reach her full potential. But the point I'm making is that being autistic does not necessarily limit a person, and it is not a diagnosis to be afraid of. In my opinion, it should be embraced. So the one thing that I will leave you guys with is this. If you have a concern with your child, no matter what it is, please seek a professional. Please talk to your pediatrician and go from there. Speak to the proper authorities. Speak to people who have actual credentials. Because the one thing I'm seeing that is concerning is that a lot of these same parents who are telling a lot of these same influencers or content creators who are telling people not to get diagnoses and not to get their kids evaluated are also offering services and taking these parents on as clients to try to help their children or get their children on track. And I just simply see that as being manipulative and, scamming people and taking advantage of people by giving misinformation. And I don't think it's right. So to the person who was concerned about these videos and, they didn't necessarily want to speak up, but they sent them to me because they knew that I wouldn't have the problem addressing it. Thank you for sending that to me. And so guys, the only thing I can really say is that early intervention works. Early diagnosis and early intervention is the way to go. It is not about putting a label on your children. It is really about allowing your child to have all of the tools at their disposal to be happy, healthy, comfortable, and to reach their full potential. Thank you guys for listening. Have a nice day.